Hello everybody, this is Judy Parcell again, and this design that you're looking at now is, I've started working on it. I did it in pencil first, which is always what I stress to you. You can see the pencil lines, and I've started doing pen and ink over the pencil lines, and I'm developing it into quite an interesting mandala. And I have this little talisman off the end, and I'll do that last as kind of a treat to myself. I wanted to talk to you about what I'm using for pens. I have a Faber-Castell. It's a fine point for this. I buy the packages because then I can pick a size that I want. It depends. Sometimes things call for bigger and some for very, very fine work. So I may go from this fine point to, what is that? S, small point, maybe that's what that means, because I'll get a finer line, especially when we get into this part here, when I draw this. So I may require a finer line for that, but we'll see as we go. I also, when I was putting the designs in, I had to refer not just to what's in my head, but to my workbook that I have. And also, I bought this one from Walter T. Foster. Now, Walter T. Foster's been around since I've been in grade school. It's how to draw this, how to paint that, the how-to books, I call them. Well, Walter T. Foster also came out with a Zentangle book, and it is around the work that Maria and Rick are doing with their Zentangles, which I talked about earlier. But there are a lot of interesting designs in this book to look at and use. So I take some of the patterns that are in here, and I've incorporated them in this. I'll go, well, let's see, what do I like here? Do I like any of this? Do I want to use any of this? Maybe not on that page, but, oh, I love those. So I put some of those in. And anyway, I go through, and look at this. Isn't she beautiful? Look at that. My. Anyway, Walter T. Foster. And if you look at this, I incorporated some of that in there. So it's good to have references for yourself, because you can't keep it all in your head. Over the years, I have a whole workbook full of designs that I use, and I just keep them. I believe in workbooks, I really do. So I didn't want to drag you through doing this whole thing, so I got some of it done, and I'm going to finish up here. While I'm doing this, I want to talk to you about some resources online where you can refer to other artists that do this kind of work. And there are a couple that I really like, and one of them is Tiffany Loring, Loring. Another one is Peter Draws. And they've been on for years, and they're really talented with the Zendoodle stuff. Peter is getting into another style of art right now, but if you can go back to his earlier YouTubes, he's got some pretty amazing Zendoodles. Now you'll notice that I'm just twisting this design back and forth. And then I think I'll put a little teardrop down here. just to lend interest to it. This looks like maybe botany cells of some sort. Now mind you, these are not of necessarily ones I created, designs I created. These I borrow from other artists who probably borrow them from other artists. Get to do a different design in each of these pinwheels. Now, because the pen point might be a bit thicker than your pencil, you know, use your brains there and say, well, I can make an adjustment and move it a little bit. Sometimes that's not a bad idea. You punt. And don't do this in a hurry, because once you've laid the pen and ink down, there it is. And it's not moving. So be sure you're putting it where you want it to be. I feel that this lends interest if you have a different design in each of these pie slices. That's what I like to call them, pie slices. This looks like bubbles. This is just circles. Now remember, this is freehand, so it doesn't have to be exact. This is a very interesting design here that I found, and it kind of hugs the inside of the pie wedge. I need to put this up where you can see it. I am shooting with an iPad. It tends to magnify my drawing, which I had to make very small to get most of it in the picture. Oh, not only am I experimenting with art, but I'm experimenting with filming equipment. Now this iPad I've had for a long time. I bought it secondhand, and it's been sitting collecting dust, and I figured out a way to bring it out and be able to use it again. You know, I just know that there's some product out there that will assist me in whatever project I'm endeavoring. And rather than buying a brand new camera at this point in the game, I decided to see what I could do with the iPad. And it does have its limits, but I'm sure camera equipment does too. So I'm going to move this up so you can see it. I have to be very aware if I'm not in your view here. Okay. So there we have it. Now I'm going to put a circle in the center. Probably another little dot there. And while that is drying a bit, I thought I would come down and give myself the treat I want. Looks like a heart-shaped cherry. You'll notice that I'm doing 3. And I probably should do 3 on the leaf. I'm punting here. You don't necessarily have to put veins in because this is kind of cartoony. And there you have it. It's kind of cute. Now I'm looking at the aura, and I'm wondering if I shouldn't use a different point. Let me get a different point for that. I think it's going to be too thick. So again, I refer to my little thing that I made up for me. A 2 is the next size. I think I'll do a 2. Is that a 2? That's a 2. So that's going to be my next one. Move this tray out of the way. I don't think I'm going to regret this. I will start here, and I want to draw the aura line. No, I am not going to regret this. I'd hate to get this far and go, oh, that line's too thick and it ruined the whole thing. Because who I'm satisfying here is myself. I made a little mistake there, but okay. Well, that's okay. This is freehand. Now you see I put that one in. I think there's another aura there, and I'm going to work on that. These kind of look like little people looking over the edge, don't they? None of that. There we go. We're just about done here. Twist and turn your paper to suit you when you're drawing. Otherwise, it's just too awkward. See how that's developing? Really, really nice. And they're really simple shapes made into a complex design. They are stolen ideas. Ooh. There. I think I got that. All right. That looks pretty good. Oh, I have one last thing to do. It's a series of circles. When you're holding these pens, don't press down on them, because the ink will, you'll bend the tip and the ink will stop flowing. They won't last you as long. Just watching me do this can be meditative. Okay. Here we go. I'm getting more and more elaborate. Almost like a jewel, doesn't it? Like, what do the British call them? Awards. It's got skinny on me, so I'm having to change the shape of the circles, but that's okay. This is freehand, and I can get away with that. One more little one. There we go. I remember one of the first Zendoodles I saw done. I was horrified because after she got done doing this wonderful design, she got out a pair of scissors and she just started cutting it up. And she had spent hours on it. And it reminded me of the monks that do sand paintings. And I said, I don't think I'm there. I love my art. I like to keep it. Even my bad art, I have found that I drag that out and I go, hey, if I tweaked it this way and this way, I think I could get something out of this. And a lot of times I'm able to save my bad art and turn it into something good. So I don't get rid of anything like that. Okay. Here is the last section. Now you can imagine if you wanted to make coloring books, mandalas are great things to make coloring books with. There you have it. And the last thing left to do is to erase it. And I use my favorite buddy here. Now this is alcohol-based inks, so these are not going to smear, hopefully. There go those cheating lines along the side. We're just going to erase, erase. I love the Art Gum Eraser. Look at that come clean. I've been doing Zendoodle since 2013, so that's just a few years, and anyway, there it is, all very beautiful and cleaned up and crisp, because we finished this off with pen and ink. You want to be sure you go back through and see if you missed any pencil lines. You want to get them out of there. Now you're going to laugh at me because I'm going to do one more thing after I erase this. I could come in with a pencil and shade it in. I'm going to make my, there you go. I'm going to shade it in. And then I'll shade in here a little bit. You see how that makes that more three-dimensional? Just a little bit of shade. Not a lot. Now this could be shaded here because you see where the arrow is? Yes, indeedy. And those seem to stand up and look more rounded when I add the shading. That is pretty amazing. I think I missed a line here. No, I didn't either. Got to remember to move this so you can see it. I can come down and shade under here because the sunlight is up above. See how that works? It looks pretty good. Keep shading it. I'd only go about halfway here because the light's starting to come in, so just go like that. And if you want to make these stand out more, do a little shading around them. They look like buttons that are standing up on top. Just got to think about where the light would fall on this. Here too. I would just do this part, because this is just about the only part that would get shaded. Maybe this part. Now take a look at it, see what you think. This could come down more. This definitely could come down here more. and make this stand out. There we have it, folks. This is a simple, but it looks complex, Zendoodle. The next one I will do will be very natural. It will be freehand. This was with the aid of a compass and a ruler, and it made it a little more mechanical. But anyway, there you go. Thank you so much for hanging in there with me, and have fun with your Zendoodling. It is a meditation, as Rick and Marie said, and it was the best idea they came up with. I thought it was wonderful. They do workshops on this worldwide, if you can believe that. Okay, there you have it. Thank you, everybody.